Welcome to Of Two Mindsets. I am D Hill, and today we have an interesting topic that we think everybody's going to be able to chip in on. And as usual, I have a good friend of mine here. I'll introduce him first. This man has beaten me in tennis, he's beaten me in chess, he's beaten me in basketball. I don't know what is left for me to try to play him, man. He's one of the smartest men I personally know.
Mm,
Ladies and gentlemen, here is RB. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It is
Appreciate
good to
the
see you.
intro. It's very, very accurate, very true.
Very right, right. Well, it's the truth. It's the truth. I think I have I ever beaten you in chess?
Yeah, you beat me in chess.
You think
I
so?
think,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
maybe,
hard to remember. It's
maybe
been a
out of the
minute.
50 times, maybe twice, maybe three.
It's been
Yeah,
a minute. I know.
yeah.
I know. So good to see you. And
Pickleball. I think you beat me in pickleball, right? Didn't you? Didn't?
thank you. I knew that
Yeah,
was it had to be something.
pickleball. Yeah.
Pickleball, I'll take that win. How's your week going so far?
So far, so good. I had a nice long weekend. Me and my wife almost got into a fight over at not with each other, but with another couple at the Fourth of July. But everything was good.
Well, that's
It was,
always exciting.
yeah, it was very exciting. I
The
was
family that fights together stays together.
yeah.
That's what
We
I
we
say.
were ready. We were ready.
Good, good. So y'all avoided the fight. Were there any licks exchanged?
No, they walked off. They knew better.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah,
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it.
hmm yeah.
Well, and on the other side of me, I have this guy. He is a musician, a philosopher. He's a good guy, but he doesn't take no junk. It's my brother from another mother, Izzy.
Yeah,
How's
what's
it going,
going
sir?
on? It's going pretty good, man. No complaints.
Glad to hear that. How's your day been so far?
Whew, busy, man. Literally just got off from work and had to rush to get prepared for this, but I'm ready and let's go. Yeah, and I do play a couple instruments. Matter of
You
fact,
want to tell the people what you play?
piano, piano, tuba, saxophone.
Oh wow.
Very
Okay.
Yeah.
cool.
And I play chess too, so see, he didn't give me that great intro like he did you. I
Hey,
don't beat him in chess
I
too,
I,
so
I didn't want to embarrass you. I don't know. Have you said you have beaten me in chess? See, it's been so
have
long.
I?
I don't remember all
It's been a long time,
that.
but have
I do not remember that.
I? Okay.
But
Well, when we see each other,
we'll
we'll just have to get aboard.
we'll have to
Wait,
do that. We'll
is
have.
he? He's taking a chess class now, so he might be a little bit better.
Oh, is it? He didn't tell me that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
He
I'm
didn't
just
tell
in
me
the
that.
in the chess
he's,
club.
he's
That's
taking
all.
lessons.
Okay.
I've learned a few things. I've learned a few things.
hmm
But chess is one of the things we can talk about because there are clubs that meet online. And today we're going to talk about how smartphones and social media have changed the world and how it affects our lives. Um, I remember getting the first iPhone and how excited I was to get that. And, having all of that technology in the palm of our hands. And, social media has been a real big part of my life. It's a great way to keep in touch with family and friends. And, the two things go hand in hand. You use your smartphone to get on the social media, but they are two very different one's a technology, and one is the car on that technological road, so to say. Um, so we'll start off with you, RJ. What are your initial thoughts about how smartphones and social media have
Mm.
affected us?
Well, I've been around since the beginning of it. You know what I'm saying? Ground zero. I remember the first uh, mobile phone. It wasn't even called a smartphone back in the late '90s. I
Gotcha.
had the Motorola flip phone, the brick phone. And if you remember that, the Motorola
Oh
big
yeah,
gray brick
absolutely.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
absolutely.
And I remember, man, I had stopped paying on the service and the phone still actually worked for like a whole nother year. Which that would never
What?
happen now, right? Yeah.
No, that would never happen now.
It would never happen now. The phone still work.
Hey, did you have to do something, or it just happened? You just realized it's still working.
It still worked. Yeah. So so it was a great experience from jump.
Right.
But my initial thoughts on smartphones and social media, I think it makes us sometimes think we're smarter than what we are. I won't say it makes us dumb, because if you're dumb, you're already dumb. It ain't gonna make you dumb, but it makes us think we know everything, because we have all of this data at our fingertips,
and don't be knowing a damn thing.
And then the sad thing about it is, like, sometimes you don't know which is credible. Like, you know what I'm saying? What are these sources credible or not? You know, there's a lot of bad information out there, and some people run with that. So it's like I said, sometimes it makes us think we're smarter than what we are. I think oftentimes. So, and it's made us lazy. You know what I'm saying? GPS. We used to know how to get places. Now it's like, you don't have your phone, or if you lose your signal, it's like, damn, did I miss that turn? It's like,
right.
Yeah. So aside from all the good it provides, those are just a couple of the biggest things, in my opinion, that are drawbacks to smartphones. And not even, I haven't even touched on social media. Social media, that's a whole nother monster, which I kind of avoid, which is kind of ironic since we're on this platform. But hey,
So Izzy, just thinking about mobile phones for the moment. What's your history with mobile phones?
Well, I'm not as old as you guys. I don't know. Are you guys?
I didn't even say we even say how old you
are. I'm Generation X, but y'all are too, though, right?
I am.
I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, I still remember before we had the cell phones, man, and it seemed like life was better then. I mean, I still remember having pay phones at high school and having to take quarters with you when you go out to be able to make a call if you got in trouble. And I remember when I got my first cell phone, and it does open the world up to you. And that's how it was in the beginning. But I think what started us wanting to do this subject was you and I talking, and I said that social interactions have decreased because of the fact of phones and people looking down in them 24/7. And
right.
And you said you disagree with that, and and that, like, you use the example of people being on MARTA, and back in the day, people just read newspapers instead of having their face down in the phone. But all the statistics that I have looked up, pretty much have said what I said, that interactions have decreased and gotten less deeper. The deep connections have decreased as well. But it does open the world up to you in the beginning.
Interactions, what are you talking about, Izzy? What kind of interactions? Like physical?
I would say, like, just, I remember back in the day, you could go out to the grocery store, you go out to the mall, you just go out and you could just have a conversation with somebody. Like, it still happens now, but it's nothing like it used to be. People used to be way more open to talk and to just have a conversation. Now it's like everybody walking around like this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you this, and I consider myself a technologist. I guess I try to see the good in the things that the technology brings us. How often have you tried to talk to someone who had their face in their phone?
A lot, man. Well, I'm social. I'm very social.
Right.
I can be an introvert and an extrovert. It's like I'm a balanced mix. I'm fine being by myself, but when I'm out, I'm out. And if I'm trying to holler at a woman, it's harder now because
How
you
so?
first.
But how does that
I'm
make it
about to
hard?
say, you got to get because you got to get through the phone first, and whatever they looking at in their phone, whether it's they respond to some on Facebook, Instagram, watch the movie, it's like now you have to get through that before you can even start to have a conversation with somebody. Back in the day, it was just you just walk up to them and start talking to, hey, how you doing? You look nice. Now it's like, oh, you interrupted my, it's it almost feel like you being bothersome, and you kind of are because I think a phone make people feel like it's their own. They have a little bubble around them,
Like they're
and
already
that's
in the conversation. Yeah, okay, I can see
yeah,
that.
and
Yeah.
that's one of the things that one of the points I had wrote down was that I feel like not all things about a phone is bad, but I feel like sometimes a phone is a way of hiding from life, even though you out in the open. It's almost like a way of hiding, like people, like a security blanket almost. If you look at people just walking sometime, and it's like they can be doing the craziest thing, but as long as they got that phone right here, it's like they think everything goes, like just talking to themselves, acting crazy, all kind of stuff. So it almost like creates a bubble around that person.
I got you. So yeah, I could definitely see that, and again, I think it's going back to the conversation that you and I had, and me remembering when I first moved to Atlanta and being on the train. Um, there was not much talking then. That was before everybody had cell phones. People were reading. People had their Walkman on. Like you said, the newspaper. I do not see it very different from the way it is now. The only difference is those newspaper, those books, and those Walkman have been replaced by smartphones.
Yeah, but
I can see,
to
I can
Izzy's,
see that on public transportation. Yeah, but we talking about like grocery stores and malls and other places like that. I mean, when you on a bus, you're not looking to really talk to anybody else. I mean, but the other places have always been spots where you can have like just a casual walk by conversation with somebody. So
RJ, what were you
those
about to say?
I'm gonna say to Izzy's
are-
point is like you reference newspapers and all that. You're not gonna walk down the street reading the newspaper. You're not gonna drive in your car
right.
reading your newspaper. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that people are doing with the cell phones.
But they were walking down the street with their Walkman on, and when you're driving, you got your music blasting.
Right, but you're not interacting. It's more of a distraction. The
I
cell
got
phone is
you.
definitely way more of a distraction
Right.
For
than a
sure.
Walkman or you know what I'm saying, because you're just playing music.
Yeah.
You're not trying to change the channel or catch a score or you know what I'm saying, or do all that kind of stuff. Like like you're doing with a cell phone. You're checking
Right.
your stock prices or you know what I'm saying, all kinds of stuff you can be doing with
Very
the
true.
cell phone.
Very true.
Um,
Are either one
it
of
makes it
you
seem like everything's negative, but there's so many positive things to it. But
exactly, exactly. Are either one of you willing to admit that you have done online dating?
no,
Right.
Oh,
Well,
I definitely have.
you have. How so? And what's your experience been
Well, the last main one that you knew about, that's how I met her.
like? Okay, we'll see.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the thing. So, particularly for people who have trouble meeting people in public, whether it's because they have social anxiety or because they're really busy. Online dating, which is a feature of having mobile phones, or you can do it on your computer too, of course, and social media, it helps people to meet other people. So that's one of the things. I have dated online, and that I've done the same thing. So it's a very useful um, thing to have available.
I
Uh,
can agree with that. But and that's the way the world is now. And I tried it that one time, but I still like the in person, face to face better. That's where my magic is. So
right. Right.
That's what I still prefer because I'm just a face to face person. That's what I like, and like I'm still kind of
More,
old school
more
too when it.
authentic, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's more authentic. It's like, you know, a person can lie in person, but it's telltale signs, and you could kind of tell online. I mean, a person profile could be anybody, you
right.
know, but in real life, at least I know what I'm looking at and what I'm dealing with. So that I still like the in person thing. But I mean, the one time I did try it, it turned into a beautiful. Um, it turned into a beautiful, treacherous 5 year thing. So,
Gotcha. Well,
hmm
see, and you have these things to thank for that.
yeah,
Mhm.
Right. You know, it's like I said, I look at smartphones and social media as tools. And
Mm.
like with any tool, if you give me a hammer, I can build a house. If you give somebody else a hammer, they could beat you in the head with it. So
Mm.
all tools can be used for good or for evil. It really depends on the person using them and the time of day sometimes. So
I got a
that's
something.
question. Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. I'm sorry, RJ.
I
Go
was gonna
ahead.
say I got a question for Mr. Technology, Mr. Deep.
I'm listening.
Now, smartphones, cell phones. Just think about the progress of it all, right? They've been around since roughly the year perfected, I would say, since the year 2000. So it's only been 25 years, really, 24, 25 years that we actually had cell phones. You know,
Right.
we TVs, if you can believe that, were mass produced like in the 1940s. So it's not even 100 years that we've had TV, if you can
Yeah,
believe
that's
that, right?
interesting.
So what's next? What's the next thing? You, Mr. Technology, what's coming next?
I used to play, I can't remember the video game, and I keep wanting to say that it's Civilization, but it's not Civilization, but it's one of those games where you
Sims,
build up. Say again?
Sims,
It's
Sim
not
City,
Sims. It's not
Sim
Sims.
City.
No.
Sid
Give me a
Meier's, it is Civilization, not Sid Meier's
no,
Civilization.
let me tell you what I'm getting
No, I'm no, go ahead. No,
at. There you build these technologies, and one of the technologies was MMI. Do either of you know what MMI is?
no.
No,
It's mind machine interface. So, mind machine interface is basically where our brains are tapped into the network and into machinery. So, I think that's what's next. These things will be a part of us. We'll basically be cyborgs, you know, and not probably not looking like RoboCop. But I think that's the next step.
Mm.
It might be about 10, 15 years in the future, but I think that's where we're going to answer your question.
Mm.
So in order to call Izzy, all you got to do is that joke where you just click your teeth. What's up, bro?
oh man.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Mm.
I
not
think
everything is all bad with phones and social media though. But somebody I was talking to, I was telling them what we was gonna be talking about this evening. They brought up something that I agree with. You know, when you used to see people back in the day, it used to be like a joyous occasion. But we see everybody so much on Facebook and Instagram, like our loved ones, friends. It's
Mm.
nothing the specialty about seeing them has really kind of been lost. It's not as special as it used to be because you see them every day, especially if you own those apps every day. It's kind of
Well,
lost in.
there you go. You just answered your own well, it wasn't a question, but you just told yourself what you need to do. Get off of there. Get off the Facebook.
Get off of them.
and
Yeah, I
you know
literally just got back on Facebook. I stayed off Facebook for a year, and I literally just got back on. So I'm really not on full fledged because I mean I go on there just to check, see for a couple of minutes, and I'm off. I may not go back on the rest of the week. So um,
I
it
gotta
did me some
disagree.
good.
I have to disagree.
Okay.
Um, I went and hung out with family this weekend, and I am I'll admit it, even at this age, I am a heavy social media user. I chat with people. I like to see what's going on with family and friends. You know, we got family and friends in different states. I like to see what's going on with them. So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, um, Twitter. I'm on there all the time when I'm not working.
Mhm.
But like this weekend, got together with family. We had a great time. We did trivia. You know, we ate some great food, and it was just as good as it's always been, even back in the day. So I don't think that these things have dampened that feeling of getting with family. Maybe there are other things that can be problematic, but I love getting with family. You know, when I get together with you guys, we have a great time, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I
That's
don't, I
fine.
don't. So I have to disagree with
I mean,
that.
but with any stimuli though, it'll affect each individual different. I mean, just like a drug, it'll affect each person different. So some people do feel, a lot of people feel like that. Because I know sometimes when I see people, it's like I can see them from distance. Now back in the day, I probably would have, hey, what's going on? But now I done seen you on Facebook like all day. I won't even
Uh,
go speak. I won't even go speak. Now with my family, of course, no, I'm gonna always love to see them. But like people from school or something like that, nah. I done seen you enough on Facebook. So
but maybe, and again, not to argue, maybe it's not because you saw them on social media. Maybe it's because you're not that interested in it,
not interested in them.
right?
I don't know. I think it's because I see them so much.
Okay,
That's how I feel. That's how it affects me. Like, and the guy I was talking to earlier, one of my coworkers actually, he was saying the same thing. He feel that same way. So yeah, I guess it just depends on how you take it in
yeah,
and
I got
how it individually affects you.
you. Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
RB, what do you use social media for?
Well,
RJ,
basically,
my bad.
what RBRJ? What basically I use it just for that. Like we have like a big family site on Facebook that we use
Okay,
to communicate with each other, let us know, people graduating, whatever weddings popping up, or family use, whatever that nature. So that's primarily what I use Facebook in particular for. Like Twitter, primarily I use it for sports, looking at sports stuff. I don't have Instagram
gotcha.
or TikTok. Is it TikTok or TikTok?
TikTok.
TikTok.
TikTok, TikTok. I don't have that.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of TikTok, now TikTok is one app that really has a grip on the younger people with
Hmm.
the dancing trends and like all that kind of stuff right there. Now that got a grip on the younger people. And I have to get at my daughter about the TikTok. Now she does well in school and well in life. So I try to let her have, her little moments on there, her time with social media, whatever, but I still limit it.
Right.
And but that TikTok, it definitely has a grip um on the youth.
How old was
Um,
your daughter when you got her first phone?
she was 12, and from
Oh,
what I read, 11, age 11.5 is when most kids get theirs. I tried to hold off. I actually feel like it's younger than that. I don't
yeah.
know what kind of research they did, but I actually feel like most kids now get them way earlier than maybe about 10.
Yeah.
But I made sure she was on her right path before she got one. But one thing about it though that I will say is good is that you're able to reach your kids when they go out into the world. Back in the day, once you was out, you was out. Once you left that door, left the house and went out that door, people didn't know where you was at. You couldn't really reach someone, you know what I mean, unless you found a payphone.
You had
Hmm.
those quarters
But
for that
now
payphone.
you got to have quarters. So it's actually good for the safety of your child. I do feel like um if your child is responsible, they need a phone, and that's mainly why I finally just broke and went on and got her one.
Mhm.
But I know a lot of bad things come with that, like self-image issues. A lot of girls have those issues when they are too heavy into social media.
Right.
And I think wasn't Facebook, didn't they have a lawsuit against them about that? Just recently about the negative effects they've been having on the mind state and the image.
Zuckerberg had to
Yeah,
talk in front of Congress, I think, in regard to that, and he apologized for the effect that Facebook or Meta was having, and I don't know exactly what was the outcome of that. I don't remember, but yeah, that was a really big deal. So,
right.
it's up to the parents. There are safeguards. You can protect them by blocking certain um, apps, and you can monitor their usage. So, depending on how involved the parents want to be, there are protections for the children in that.
I absolutely agree. But it's sort of like the school thing to me. Some sides want to blame the teacher, some sides want to only blame the parent. It's really like a concerted effort between both. Like, so it has to be a responsibility on the parents, of course, because it's your kid.
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, if you know something is harmful in a certain way, you can try to tune it to where it's not as harmful. I mean, because especially with little girls, and they see what is pushed as um what beauty is in the world today, and you don't fit that. I mean, y'all know how little girls are, how women are, grown ass women. I mean, are pressured into looking a certain way, being a certain way, acting a certain way. So that is one negative side of social media. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So I do try to limit. I don't try. I ain't got one of them kids that don't listen, and I'm not
So,
one of them parents who's gonna let you not listen. So, but yeah, but if a parent is stepping up the way they should, I feel like you can kind of control it.
I agree with that.
go ahead, RJ.
No, honestly, I agree with that. Because I remember when I got my boys their cell phones. In the beginning, I was monitoring like all the apps, and then once I got a good feeling of how they can handle it, I felt more comfortable, I should say. Releasing some of those holes on them. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
all
kind of
about
what I
how
do.
you're bringing them up. That's really what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's primarily on the parent.
Yeah, got to teach them young, so
Yeah.
when they get older, they won't stray from your teachings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
I wanted to touch on something right quick as we have a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I'm writing, and let me know if this happens to y'all, and I'm talking about writing like with a pencil or a pen on paper, I'll come across a word and I say, I wonder if I spelled that right. And then I'll look closely at it and I say, well, it doesn't have the little red dots under it, so it must be right. Because we're so used to doing things on our phones. When you misspell something on the phone, it'll tell you that it's misspelled. Y'all never had that where you're
I have, and get what?
thank
Sometimes
you.
that it be dead ass
That's
wrong,
because
and
y'all
it
related. That's
it don't pick
you
it
got
up.
that from your daddy.
But I'm
Yo,
gonna tell you
it's
what
like,
though.
yeah.
I like to know the word myself because I like to think of myself as a wordsmith. And when I was young, I used to read the dictionary just to read it, just like a regular book. So I still like to know the words that I'm actually using and know how to spell them.
Yeah, I do
Not just
too. And
learn big words just because.
if I'm reading, I come across a word, I'm definitely gonna ask Siri, what the word means. So
Mm.
Right.
I'm addicted, as you can tell. Well, we have another minute and a half to close up here. RJ, I'm gonna give you the last word this time.
Um,
What do
um,
you
but go ahead, but
smartphones, social media? What's the synopsis?
synopsis is overall good. Just you know, take it easy. Take it easy.
All right, since he was so short, Mr. Izzy, last word, smartphone.
The one thing I didn't get to talk about is the weaponizing of social media, like how it was kicked off Instagram. Like that, we should have got on that, but maybe next time. But
Maybe next
I
time.
enjoyed it, lighthearted conversation, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Well, that was fun, and we'll have more time in the future and as we grow this thing. But I'd like to thank you guys for joining us today. RJ, Izzy, as always, it's been a pleasure, and we're gonna get out of here. Thank you all for watching Of Two Mindsets. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.
All right.
Peace.